live again on 1 week. I have been uploading some videos and I got a good response. So thank you so much for being there on the channel. I can see so many people are already watching this. Okay. Okay, how do I see the live chat? I can't see the live chat today. That's weird. Okay, yeah, it's here. Okay, great. So we got a question from Weber. You can complete the basic Python in less than 2 weeks. Oh, that's right. You can complete that. Oh, that's the answer for the previous question. Okay, great. So that's the amazing thing about community, right? We have so many people to help you up. Okay, so Bharat says I love JavaScript. Yeah, it's a great language. What's up, Telusko? Everything is good. Okay, you got notification. That's great. So YouTube is sending notifications nowadays. That's great. So hit that like button, everyone, if you enjoy my live sessions. Okay, so everyone's talking about their favorite language. Is it because of the last video which I uploaded? So yeah, in fact, I was not supposed to upload that video, but then a lot of people they were asking this question, which language to prefer and what is my top 5 languages, since everyone is doing that. So I thought let's make a video. Let's clear that stuff up. In fact, this is not just about top 5 languages. The video was more about how do you choose a particular language if you want to work in this domain. And as I mentioned before, it all depends upon domain which you are working in. Of course, if you are joining a service-based companies and if you are working in a project which requires Java, you don't have a choice, right? You have to work on that. In fact, I have seen some companies for some of the projects they are still using COBOL, right? So it's not that much of preference you have, right? So okay, audio not clear, is it? Um, okay. Okay, hi sir, Udemy class is great. Please update a fully Django course. All live videos are useful. Surely I'll try to do that. Okay, clear, sir. So audio is clear, right? That's great. What's your job, sir? I mean, I have multiple job to do. Not a job, but then I have multiple. Uh, okay, can I say job? Yeah. So I'm a YouTuber. I'm a corporate trainer. Sometimes I make projects. I also create content for paid courses like Udemy or Telusko.com. Okay, why car today? It's because I have realized that going live in a car is better because of the better light you get. Because see, when you record a video, you need a green screen and stuff, but when you go live, you don't need anything. You just need interaction, right? Car is the best place because it's almost soundproof. Uh, Plus, it gives a better light. So why not? And of course, I don't have to go to office to go live. So that's one of the reasons. Okay. Prerequisite to learn REST API. So you have to understand the networking concept, what is network, and then what are different methods of HTTP, and then some concept of web, what is request, what is response, and how exactly you get a response from a server. So those things are required, and that's it. And one language, because whenever you learn REST API, you have to implement that in one language, right? You can go with Java, you can with Python, or whatever language you prefer. So at least one language, that's it, and then you're good to go. Okay, machine learning for freshers is a good choice. It all depends, uh, what your strength is. So maybe if you are good with maths, if you are passionate about new technologies, then of course you can go for machine learning. But then I have seen people, they just want to learn a technology just because it is fancy, just because it is famous. And then at one point, see, whenever you learn a new technology, you will find a lot of things difficult. And that's where problem starts, right? Because the moment you find it difficult, you will have two choices. Either you have to work hard to understand that, or you will skip that concept. And that is something you should not be preferring, right? So if you're not passionate about the technology, don't even try it. And machine learning is tough. Okay, so if you are passionate about it and if you are good with maths, good with at least one language, like let's say Python or JavaScript, then you're good to go. Okay, Spring Hibernate is best. That's right. It is one of the best framework. Prerequisite for Hadoop. Okay, so when I was preparing for Hadoop from way back in 2015 somewhere or 14, so you need to know again the concept of servers. You need to know the concept of clusters and some programming, maybe Java or Scala, mostly Scala or Python, and that's it. And the concept of databases basically, and then you can start with it. So most of the things which is required, you will be learning that in first two chapters. So I was referring this book. I forgot the book name. I guess it was from O'Reilly. Riley. Yeah, some book of Hadoop, and then the first two chapters talks about the basics of it. So things get clear there itself. And Hadoop for me was a bit easy because I was knowing some of the concepts uh, before I was working on those technologies, not knowing as a or as a big data frameworks, but so when I was giving corporate seminars, I should talk about those technologies, and then so it was easy for me, but I'm not sure about you. Uh, Upcoming videos, so I'll be on a vacation for 1 week, as I mentioned. February is a vacation month. So I'll be for vacation for 1 week, and once I come back after 12th February, I'll be continuing with blockchain and some of the videos on Python. Pritesh says, hi, seems I'm late. Not exactly, just a live session. Okay. Math is compulsory to learn machine learning? Yes. Yes. Okay. Tell us about startup. What to start for today's startup? In fact, that's a great question, So, in fact, in the last video, I've talked about this. So, the moment you want to be an entrepreneur, why someone wants to be an entrepreneur? Just because they know a language, they can build an application, and they claim them they are entrepreneurs. See, building a business is not building an application. It's actually vice versa. To build a business, you need an app first. That doesn't mean if you got the app, you can build a business. In fact, if you know about Zomato, if you know about Swiggy, now they were able to crack this market. So earlier days we used to go to restaurant to eat something, but now you sit at home, you order something, right? And that's how they are growing now. It is win-win situation for all three parties. As a customer, we are happy. Zomato is happy because they're getting commission, and the restaurants are happy because they are making more sales now, right? Again, they have some drawbacks as well, but then let me talk about the positive stuff. So they are working so hard, and they have achieved all these things. Everywhere you can. Uh, Nowadays, people don't go to restaurants much; they order everything online. But the thing is, Zomato, Swiggy, they all are in loss. Why they're in loss? Because they are providing more coupons, they're providing more discounts, and they have so many employees to support. Now, if you have the situation, it's not just about the application; it's about the business process. It's about the human resource, right? So you also need people who can work, right? So it takes time to build all those stuff, right? It's not just an application. But then that's how you build it. In fact, Zomato is in loss. In fact, they are doing something to gain the profit now, but it is difficult to build a business. It is very easy to build an application, but then building the entire business takes time. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, first thing you need with you is the business idea, and second, in fact, I would prefer if you have a partner, right? So if you are into tech zone, or if you want to tech domain, you'd find someone who into business domain because you can't manage business. That's my personal experience, right? So when I was thinking about this, it was easy for me being a tech person, but I was not into a business person. So you need someone who can help you in the business process. That's how you start. But if you are someone who into business, who into tech, start with that. So get an idea, build something, and try to build the business around it. Start small and go big. Okay. Is it necessary coaching for CoJava? I mean, you want to learn CoJava. Is it necessary to learn CoJava, or is it to get coaching from somewhere? Learning CoJava is essential nowadays because see, at one point, maybe in 2010. Learning Java was a luxury, but now it's more of a necessity. You need to know Java. That's you don't have a choice. But is it compulsory to learn from coaching classes? It all depends upon how you want to learn. I have seen people who are great in self-learning, and there are some people they are not good with self-learning. The moment they attend classroom training, they feel better. So it depends upon you. So I would prefer self-learning always, but if you're someone who is someone who can learn from classes but not self-learning, but you can prefer that. In fact, we have this famous term nowadays, right? Self-taught programmers. If you are one of them, of course, self-learning is good. Upcoming courses, everyone's asking the same question. As I mentioned, from once I come back from on 12th Feb, I'll be continuing with blockchain and Python. So blockchain will be available on both the platforms, YouTube and the paid platforms. So the entire course of Hyperledger will be there on the paid platform, but the small projects will be there on YouTube. So it's a very essential thing for me to bifurcate these two things because I realize uploading the entire playlist on YouTube doesn't make any sense because it's a new technology, right? People don't know how to follow it, so it makes much more sense to have a separate course for it. Okay, data science learning path. For data science, I'm not sure. Maybe you need to know a language and maths and statistics, database. That's it. You can start with that. Which language used most in blockchain? So if we talk about the quantity, it is Solidity because Ethereum is more famous than Hyperledger. But if we talk about the quality terms, if we talk about the corporate projects, the big projects, they are using Java, Go, or JavaScript. But if we talk about Ethereum, then it's Solidity. Okay, Rishabh says, I have a guy with business mind working on business idea as well. Need some tips to take special care of few things, where to focus more. Uh, okay, now, so if you want to focus more, so first make sure that the idea which you have has a future in it. It should be something. I mean, there can be two things, right? One, it is very new idea, and that's very risky because you never know will it work or not. Second, you can go with the idea which is already working. Maybe you can have your own Zomato, right? So you know that once you have your own Zomato in your area, you have a good chance, right, to crack it. Maybe by providing more discount, maybe by providing better service, right? So those things are important. Second, the way you promote your app. So even if your app is bad at the start, that's fine. You just need to keep improving it, and you don't need all the features in one go. Go step by step. I would suggest you to go with agile format, build something, publish it, and see the reaction of the customers. Promote it, ask for the feedbacks, and again go back, build something, update something, and that's how all these businesses works nowadays, right? You will not see the entire application is built in one go. So you have to go step by step. Okay. Is it good to learn Node or Angular nowadays? Why not both? Why not you can be into both domains, the full-fledged or full stack developer? So for backend, you need Node. For frontend, you need Angular. You can do both. In fact, I would suggest you to go for the entire main stack. Okay. Great. A lot of people are watching this. Hit that like button, everyone. If you enjoy my live sessions. Okay. Node or Django? Good question. I would prefer Django. In fact, I would also prefer Node. So that's a very difficult question, actually. If you want me to choose one in an unbiased format, I would say Django. Sorry, not Node. Node. Personally, I would prefer Django, but its Node is better. Spring Boot or Node.js? Of course, Spring Boot. Chandra says I love Telusko multiple times, so thank you so much. Maybe I've applied loop there. Okay, WhatsApp status. The problem is I can't see your question in full, because you have a big name and it is taking the entire block. I can't see the question. So you're saying it's urgent, sir. I have a deep, and then I can't say anything. So it's everything is going up. Should I learn Hibernate before Spring? Yeah, it works. So you can learn Spring, then Hibernate, or you can learn Hibernate and then Spring. Uh, they're independent actually, and you can, of course, they will be. You will combine them in future, but you can learn them independently. Okay. Where to go for us? Where to go for say a public blockchain? Public blockchain is there, right? We have Bitcoin, we have Ethereum. Those are public blockchains. If you talk about the corporate network, they will not be using public blockchain. They will be focusing more on private blockchain. So if you want to see public, we have Bitcoin, we have Ethereum. Okay. Which language should I follow if I have to be in India? Depends. So whatever things I was talked about in the last session, in the last video, is applicable for India as well. How to make a private blockchain? It's easy. Just learn Hyperledger Fabric and build your own private blockchain. Okay. Any startup ideas, sir? Startup ideas. There's so many actually. Maybe I should make a separate video about this. I don't have. It's not. Nothing is striking in my mind as of now. Uh, but there were some ideas which I wanted to implement, but unfortunately I was not. Maybe I should make a separate video on this startup ideas. Books or videos? Okay, to be honest, from last few years, I was a big fan of videos. I mean, if I want to learn something, I just used to watch videos, maybe on YouTube, maybe on some paid platforms, because learning is important, right? So I used to watch videos. But now, from last few weeks, I'm doing something which is not very famous in the market, and that's why we don't have videos about it. And suddenly, I was reading documentations, I was reading books. I loved it. It creates a different scenario in your mind that I mean, it's not suitable for everyone. I still love videos more than books or documentations, but I realized reading documentation is it's also helpful. What is simply a ledger? Ledger is you can imagine it's a storage where you have all the transactions, all the blocks. Uh, Synonym for that would be a database, right? Because ledger is something where you store data, right? You record data. Ramesh says, what is image and video processing, sir? So what is image processing? If you use Instagram and if you apply filters, that is image processing. When you create a video and when you upload that on maybe on Facebook, on YouTube, that is video processing because it processes the video first. It converts the raw data into a MP4 format, and it does the compression. And maybe you can also apply some effects. So those are video processing. Okay. How to make logical skills stronger by building stuff. You have to build stuff, not just read them, not just watch videos, but build. So the more you build, the more it will help you to increase your logical skills. Okay, so now we got a question from SA, which was a question from WhatsApp. It's also, sir, join MNC with 3 lakh package or 3.5 lakhs package or startup with 2.2. Java, advanced Java, okay, Java, JavaScript, jQuery, Python. I know this. Uh, See, this type of questions are actually very subjective. It all depends upon your financial condition. See, if you are financially weak and if you want money as fast as possible, of course, I would suggest you go for MNC because 3.5 is a good number. It's not actually a very good number, but still a better number than the startup. But if you feel you're financially stable and you can spend at least 1 year learning, then making more money, I would say startup, because in startup what you get is money as well as knowledge. In big companies like MNCs, you get to know about the process and it is helpful, but I feel the technical knowledge is, I mean, the way you grow in startups is more than MNCs. And it also depends upon what type of startup you're joining. So, okay. Love from Kerala. Oh, love from Mumbai. In fact, I'm coming to Kerala next week. So I want to thank you as I have made my own website using Django. That's great. Is Java backend is possible with React? Yes. So you can make REST APIs and then you can call them with React. Is HTML prerequisite for learning Django? Yes. I mean, if you are learning Django and if you want to build websites, the only option you have is HTML, right, for front-end designing. Okay. Telusko paid courses. Yes, we do have some paid courses on Telusko. In fact, we have two, Angular and Spring. Okay, last few minutes and then we are good to go. How to learn language means book along with your video or only video, sir. So I would suggest you to watch video first and re-watch the video then with books. So maybe once you complete the entire series, practice them, then read book. And so let's say if you're trying to understand the concept of method overriding, so watch the video, read the book parallelly, and then it will be helpful. Difference between Spring and Spring MVC. So when you talk about Spring, it covers everything. So it covers Spring AOP, Spring Core, Spring MVC. So it has so many modules. Specifically, Spring MVC is a module of Spring Framework, which is used to build web applications. And a lot of people they get confused between Spring and Spring Core. So Spring is not Spring Code, right? So Spring has multiple modules inside it. So your videos are sufficient for Core Java? Yes. React or Node.js? Why versus? Uh, you have to learn both, right? So React is more for. Are you talking about React Native or React? React JS is more for the front end, and Node is more for the back end. Okay. Machine learning for mechanical engineering. Anyone can learn that. That's the beauty about technology nowadays. Doesn't matter from which field you are. You can get into machine learning. You can get into blockchain. What you need is skill set. Doesn't matter what degree you possess. Give away on 1 million subscribers. Sure. Maybe I can give away the entire course for free. Okay. Why you are not telling me what, Chirag? What should I tell you? Hmm, okay. So I'm from very small college, feeling frustrated because my technical is very good. No good companies come. I have only 3.5 package. See, that's fine. I understand that. So when you talk about the tier three colleges, not a lot of companies visit, and that's where you have an option of off campus. You go there, apply to the company, go for the off campus placements. That's one option you have. Otherwise, join whatever company you get, work for there for 1 year, 2 years, and then you can switch. And last one question, then we are good to go. What was this question? Where I'm leaving doesn't matter. Things we can learn with BTech computer science. So when you're doing your engineering, you can do multiple things now. So maybe you can do some niche courses like machine learning or blockchain. Maybe you can do web development, which will be suitable for your college projects as well. Maybe you can do mobile development. Uh, I'm not sure what you should choose, but do something. That's a good thought of doing something. So do whatever you feel good and continue with that. So that's it, everyone. That's from this live session. See you in the next live session. Probably next Sunday I'll be in Kerala, so maybe we can go live from there. And that's it. Enjoy your remaining Sunday. Bye bye.